Now that the Kingpin has made his grand return to Hell's Kitchen, how will this affect the life of Father Matt? Well, let's hop into the pages of Daredevil issue number 9 and find out together, shall we? So then, picking up directly from where the last issue left off, Matt and Elektra had crashed a secret meeting of the Heat, that new street gang made up of ex and current cops. Turns out their leader, the mysterious general, the one who was handing orders to Bullseye, was revealed to be none other than Wilson Fisk the Kingpin, back again in New York City and up to his old tricks. In fact, really old tricks. In fact, Daredevil's not even really shocked that Wilson Fisk is up to no good again. He's just shocked that he's gone back to square one. He didn't really think it was in his character. Not after being mayor, not after being a citizen of Krakoa, not after becoming the White King of the Hellfire Club. This all seems just really small potatoes in comparison. The Daredevil duo do their best to try and squeeze Bullseye for information. After all, he's Kingpin's right hand in this deal, and if anyone knew how to get to Fisk, it would be him. Bullseye's not talking though, and he's resolute that the 1,000 or so Heat members will surely rush the stage to protect him, only they don't, because Elektra ends up laying down some of the coldest threats I've heard in a long time. Any man who feels brave enough to come up here right now is gonna get their collarbones broken in the most brutal way possible. Is laying up in all of that pain worth it right now? Yeah, geez, it's almost like these dirty cops are giant cowards at heart or something. In the end though, it's not the dirty cops that Matt and Elektra have to deal with, it's the other cops who are currently outside. Whether they want to admit it or not, they are breaking and entering, they have committed multiple acts of assault. And despite the Heat being such cowards, they clearly have their tentacles in the NYPD and vice versa, meaning that they should probably get the hell out of here and soon. When our two Daredevils finally get a chance to decompress, Matt actually ends up having some really choice words for Kingpin. Again, he just cannot believe that a guy who went so far in his life, who changed his ways, would be back to slumming it so soon in Hell's Kitchen. Again, the irony here is obvious to anyone paying attention. Matt is saying all this stuff about the Kingpin, but it's all just as true for him. Kingpin had a second chance at life and success, yet he just cannot seem to ignore the allure of Hell's Kitchen, much like Matt got a very literal second chance at life, and yet cannot seem to resist the pull of being Daredevil. It's almost like they hate each other so much because deep down in their heart of hearts, they're like the same guy. If Matt is going to be going after the Kingpin and the Heat, though, he's going to need a little bit more information. Thankfully, though, he knows just the sort of person who keeps tabs on the underworld, that being Foggy Nelson, and his new law partner, Cole North. Unfortunately, Matt has been too terrified to actually reunite with his old friend. Thankfully, when he does ring the doorbell and Foggy sees that he's alive, the two embrace as if nothing's changed. Though, once the joy of reunion ends up wearing off and Foggy realizes that this is actually the 18th time Matt has come to the office and only the first time he's actually stayed around to chat, Foggy is understandably kinda pissed. You mean to tell me my best friend was not only alive, but he was actually just a couple blocks away and couldn't bring himself to talk to me? Once again, Matt ends up blaming the whole thing on religious shame, how he felt that God or some other higher power gave him a second chance at life, and that by returning to Foggy and his old life, he would just be slapping said deity in the face. Foggy is obviously in no mood to hear this kind of excuse, and it looks like it's gonna be a long road to rebuilding their friendship. Thankfully, though, Cole North is actually able to help Matt with why he came here today, all the missing information regarding the Kingpin. What he's been up to since Devil's Reign, how him and Typhoid Mary got actually wed in a secret service, but how neither of them have actually been seen side by side in a bit, how Kingpin passed off his empire to his illegitimate son Butch, only for Bullseye and the Heat to actively be trying to kill Butch during the events of Gang War. It's all very strange, all very inconsistent. Matt even says Kingpin is making the sort of mistakes a much younger and much more prideful gang boss would be making. Obviously, this meeting has given Matt a ton to think about, not just about his role as Daredevil, but his role as a friend. Now that Foggy actually finally knows he's alive and working as Father Matt, how on earth does he stop these two different worlds from colliding with each other? Well, the short answer is you can't. Sooner or later, all of those chickens are going to come home to roost, and as a shameful Matt returns to the orphanage that night, that sooner ends up happening now-ish. Using his super hearing, Daredevil hears someone rummaging around in his room. He thinks that it must be a group of assassins sent to murder him, however, he would much rather that be the case instead of the truth, which is when he didn't come home that night, one of the irascible children went through his stuff and ended up finding his Daredevil suit. Uh-oh, try try and explain that one away as the comic comes to a close. And so that was Daredevil issue number 9, everybody, and once again, I think Solid and Amid is actually turning in some of the strongest work on this series he's done in a long time. There's a real sense of urgency in the proceeding. Stuff is happening, it's all important, and it's all happening at a real good breakneck pace. I also really like to see what this run's take is on the relationship between Daredevil and Kingpin, how despite how far they go in life, they're always pulled back to Hell's Kitchen. There's just something so powerful and primal about that place, and how both men, despite doing such amazing things with their lives, are both fiending for earlier, happier, less complicated days when it was just heroes versus gangsters. And honestly, I can't wait to see where the book actually goes from here. Overall, I would give it a very strong 8 out of 10. Good stuff. Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers, a lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quest. That's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow, and help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye bye.